So KSI and Logan Paul battle to a majority decision draw. Controversy. A lot of people feel like KSI was robbed. Well, I'll get to the scoring a little bit later on in the video. But first of all, I have to say, I've been getting pestered for the past 2 weeks by various people in the comment section of my videos telling me that I need to make a video about this fight, KSI versus Logan Paul. And I resisted up until now. I finally caved in and done it. So this is my KSI Logan Paul post-fight review. Now, a lot of people are going to be disgusted about the fact that KSI and Logan Paul were getting apparently millions to fight each other. And both guys are just novice boxers at the end of the day. So people are going to be disgusted about that. Some people are going to be disgusted that I'm even making a video about this. But here's my take on it. I did watch the fight. There were people posting links in my Facebook boxing group. And I've always said that boxing at the end of the day is a form of entertainment. That's what it is. And there's entertainment to be found in boxing at all levels, not only at the highest level, but even at the lowest level, at the guys having their first amateur fights, the absolute novices. And that's what this was. A couple of guys, I think KSI has had 1 or 2 amateur fights. This was Logan Paul's first amateur fight. So if it's entertaining, it's entertaining, regardless of what level it's at. The crowd were entertained. I'm sure millions of people watching online were entertained. I have to be honest, I was entertained. I was laughing and clapping all the way through the fight. I found it hilarious. I found it entertaining. I was chatting to people in my Facebook boxing group, doing a running commentary as the fight was happening. So yeah, smiles all round. It was an entertaining night of boxing between 2 novices. As far as what these guys got paid, I mean, the reason they got paid as much as they did is because they're big YouTube stars. It's not really to do with the fact that they were having a boxing match per se. It's because, I mean, they could have been in the octagon. They could have, you know, had a wrestling match or whatever. It's just the fact that they're 2 big YouTube stars with millions of subscribers each. So they were going to fill out an arena or, you know, whatever the case may be, regardless of how they were going to fight, whether it was in a boxing ring or the octagon, etc. So, you know, they've worked hard and got their channels to where they are. I can't hate on it. I can't hate on it. And they wanted to have an amateur fight against each other. I can't hate on it. See, I'm not a hater. A lot of people out there are haters. I'm not a hater. I can't hate on somebody who's doing their thing. You know, they're providing entertainment for their audience. That's what they're doing. So it is what it is. As far as the fight itself, in terms of the scoring, a lot of people were outraged at the score. They were saying there's no way that KSI didn't win the fight. That was disgusting, so on and so forth. This is what a lot of casual fans don't really understand about boxing. KSI won, let's say, the 4th, 5th, and 6th round quite clearly. Okay, maybe the 5th round was quite close actually, but certainly the 4th and the 6th, he won them clearly. And that sticks in people's minds. So they think, oh, KSI was battering him at the end and he looked like he was nearly going to drop him. Yeah, he did. But a fight is scored round by round. So let's say you got a 6-round fight like this was. You could have 5 close rounds and then one guy absolutely dominates the 6. And then if you're a casual fan, you might look at that and think, oh, he won the fight. He battered him in that round. Did you see? Yeah, but fights are scored round by round. And the way the fight started off, Logan Paul was using his height and reach advantage and size advantage quite well. You got a shout out to KSI for being able to get in there against a guy who was much physically bigger than him. It looked like a light heavyweight versus a light middleweight in there. KSI was giving away a hell of a lot in height, reach, and weight. And Logan Paul, for somebody having his first amateur fight, he showed fairly decent technique for a guy who's never had an amateur fight before. So shout out to him for that. And he was using his jab well. KSI was struggling to find his range and his distance. But Logan Paul, with those muscles, started to get tired towards, I want to say, the end of the 3rd round. And then from the 4th round on, KSI really started putting his foot on the gas, applying a lot of pressure, wild swinging punches. Some of them landed, some of them didn't. But a very spirited effort, lots of energy. And Logan Paul's stamina failed him, basically. He was trying to hold it together in terms of his technique and keep them straight punches flowing, but there just wasn't enough of them. And KSI's energy allowed him to get back into the fight. And the 6th round in particular, it looked to me as though Logan Paul was stunned. In fact, the end of the 5th, Logan Paul was stunned with a right hand to the head. And in the 6th, there were more shots going in from KSI, which to me looked like they had Logan Paul in a little bit of trouble. You know, if there was a 7th round, we might have seen a knockdown. So yeah, it ended in a draw. I can't personally argue with a draw. A lot of people are saying that it was a fix because there is allegedly, I don't know if this is true, a 2-fight contract anyway. And the first fight made both guys so much money. Why wouldn't they run it back and do it again? It's just a whole heap more money. And both guys were, you know, talking about the rematch in the post-fight interview. So it was what it was. I was entertained, and I'm a hardcore boxing fan. I've been watching boxing since the mid to late 80s. All right. So you won't find many boxing fans more hardcore than me. And I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a couple of novices having a go. It just so happens that these couple of novices are massive YouTubers with millions of subscribers and enormous followings. So look, I've watched novices before on amateur shows and enjoyed watching certain novice fights. So here we have a novice fight that happened to be a high profile novice fight. That's all it is. No need to get angry about it. Yes, both guys got paid more than a lot of professional world champions got paid. But that's not their fault, right? What are they supposed to do? Not take the money? Not take advantage of the fact that they are massive YouTube stars with huge followings? Of course they're supposed to do that. If you were in their position, you'd be doing the same. So it was what it was. Shout out to both guys for doing their thing. And I was entertained. My Facebook boxing group was entertained. How about that? All the hardcore, well, some of the hardcore fans in my Facebook boxing group were disgusted, but a lot of them were embarrassed to say that they were enjoying the show. Let's be real. It was what it was. It was a novice fight and it was entertaining. So yeah, hopefully some of you guys have got enough of a sense of humor to admit that you were entertained by this fight. And for those who are miserable and upset that this fight happened, miserable and upset that I'm even talking about it, man, some of you guys need to take a chill pill and realize it's just entertainment. That's all boxing is. You see, I'm not one of these people who wants other channels to get taken down and is wishing other people bad because they've got a different opinion about boxing than me. I don't take it that deep. Yeah, I love boxing. I still train myself. I used to box amateur myself for many years. I've been following this sport for nearly 30 years, nearly 3 decades. So yeah, I love it, but I don't take it so much to heart that I want to see other people's downfall in life because they've got a different opinion about boxing than me. It's not that deep, bro. If you're that uptight about something like boxing, you need to get out more. You need to go see the world more. You need to find yourself a sense of humor. Seriously. So that's the thing at the end of the day. It's all about entertainment. And this particular fight, for what it was, 2 complete novices having a go, it was entertaining. And as far as the rematch goes, I think Logan Paul, if he does weights, he needs to lay off the weights, work a lot more in his cardio, because with his height and reach and natural size advantage, he really should have won the fight. If he would have been able to keep up what he was doing in the first 3 rounds, then he would have won it. But he wasn't able to do it. He gassed out. And again, massive credit to KSI for being able to come back the way that he did with tremendous energy levels. You know, he's got some fitness about him, KSI. Let's not get it twisted. I know he swings like Deontay Wilder on a bad day, but he's got some fitness about him. So big him up for that. He obviously trained hard for this. And yeah, they're going to make a lot more money in the rematch. People are going to be outraged and disgusted, but it is what it is. You know, one thing I've learned in life is that haters never win. You know, haters always end up twisted and bitter. So it is what it is. I'll never hate on a man for making money when he's not, you know, harming anybody. Obviously, he's harming his opponent, but that's mutually agreed. But if somebody's making money legit, you're not harming nobody, you're not robbing anybody. I mean, some people are going to say, oh, they were robbing boxing fans by putting on this nonsense as pay-per-view. Were they? Everybody knew what they were getting when they bought it. They're getting a fight between two YouTubers. They're not getting a fight between two world champions. That's not robbing somebody. You can't say you were robbed if you paid for a fight and you knew the two contestants were YouTubers. So it is what it is. I think it makes boxing more popular in general. There are going to be people who watch that fight and feel inspired to go and have a go at white collar themselves, or go and have a go at amateur boxing themselves. So it is what it is. I hesitated in making a video about this fight because, quite honestly, I wasn't interested until the very last moment. And at the very last moment, I thought, you know what? There's nothing else really on a Saturday night right now. There's no other, you know, big fights or anything. And people were posting links in my boxing group. So I was like, oh, let me watch this thing. So I watched it and I was entertained. I'll be real. I was entertained. I didn't know who Logan Paul was prior to watching this. I knew of KSI. I knew he was a big YouTuber. I think he started off doing FIFA, right? That's how he got big. Logan Paul, I'd heard of his name, and I'd heard he was in some controversy on YouTube a few months back. But yeah, I'd never seen him before. I'd never watched his channel. But now I know a little bit about him. So anyway, let me know how you feel about this in the comment section below. Whether you loved it, hated it, whether you think this is good for boxing or bad for boxing. Let me know what you think in the comment section. All right, it's happening. I'm out.